Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I'm Tom, and I'm here to bring the player ratings for Everton 0, Manchester City 2 in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. It was a sound performance for 80 minutes, and then Man City were able to finally break our lines. But really good organisation from Everton in those opening 80 minutes, and it was frustrating to be broken down in the end after working so hard during the majority of the game. So, in terms of player ratings, start with Joe Virginia in goal, who, honestly, everyone was saying how much he must have been terrified in the lead up to the game. Third choice goalkeeper coming in after a tough loan spell at Reading last year, but he performed admirably and he did really well. So I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10 because the pressure that was put on his shoulders and he responded. He looked like he wasn't fazed by it at all. Made a really, really good save in the second half, and couldn't really do much about the goals, to be honest. So, Joe Virginia, 8 out of 10. It's nice to know that we've got another reliable pair of hands there if our first two goalkeepers are out injured. And even if we don't manage to sign Olsen on a permanent deal, I'd be happy to have Joe Virginia as our number 2 to Pickford. So, moving to the outfield positions, defence were really well organised. So, we'll start with the back three. We had Yerry Mina, I thought, dominated Gabriel Jesus for the majority of the game. So, I'll give him an 8 out of 10 because he was kept him quiet. He was down his ear. He was all over him, and it was good to see someone so authoritative at the back. Yerry Mina on his return, a couple of games into his return now from injury. So good to see him back to his best. Alongside Ben Godfrey as well at the back, give him a 7 out of 10 because I thought he was really good. And another one of those lovely tackles. He loves sliding in and taking the ball really well. Showed his pace on a couple of occasions as well when he wasn't stuck defending. So 7 out of 10 performance, solid once again. Mason Holgate, I'll give a 6. He was okay. Obviously he's not been in the best form recently, but he performed well today. Back in his preferred role of centre back, and he pretty much stood firm, stood strong. Without doing anything spectacular, he was solid and reliable, which is good to see. Moving on to the wing back, Seamus Coleman, obviously at wing back now in his more senior years, and he did well as well. 6 out of 10, I'll give him as well because he was good. It was nice to have that another line of defence, and he worked hard throughout. Getting forward as well, I thought he was good. Getting forward when on the rare occasion that we could. Obviously, we had to show quality in the ball, but he was always willing to make those runs. On the other side, Luca Dean, 6 out of 10 as well. Set piece deliveries from corners, not always pinpoint, but his deliveries were okay. He did find Yerry Mina at the end of the first half, who just had a good shot, and it was goal bound if Zinchenko wouldn't have cleared it off the line. So I thought he was okay, 6 out of 10 as well. Moving on to the midfield, Andre Gomes was better than we've seen him in recent weeks, so 6 out of 10 for him as well. He did one particularly good cross. I think it was in the second half, and he was well organised again. I think that's what he offers us if we are going to be off the ball quite a lot. He does give us that structure as well, and so 6 out of 10 alongside Alan, who gets a 6 as well. Anchors the midfield, and he didn't really need to play that number 6 role, like kind of dropping between the centre backs, because he was often in the midfield role more so than dropping back into centre back, because we were really strong in our shape for 80 minutes, and I thought he was a key part of that as well. And Ancelotti didn't have to make too many changes because we were organised so well that he wanted to keep it the same. So Gylfi Sigurdsson as well, 6 out of 10 as well. He didn't get too much on the ball, but when he did, he was okay, and he works hard out of possession as well, and closes people down well, pressing the Man City defence into recycling the ball and moving it around rather than sitting back. So I thought he did well at that without doing too much on the ball, because we only had about 26% possession in the end, I think it was. So moving on to the forwards though, Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison will both get 6s as well, because they didn't get the ball much. They didn't have too many chances to get on the ball, but when they did, they were okay. Richarlison got a few shots away, sometimes hopeful ones, because there wasn't much space in there. Those City defenders are absolute quality, and it's hard to find an inch of space in there. But he had a few chances, Richarlison in particular. Calvert-Lewin was good in the air sometimes and bringing the ball down well for the teammates, which he always is. We can rely on him for that. So that was good. Subs, Iwobi was the only substitute, of course, because Ancelotti, as I said, didn't want to disrupt the shape too much, as they were doing really well organisation-wise. So Iwobi came on about 5 minutes ago. Can't really give him a rating because he was only there for 5 minutes or so. Didn't really get on the ball too much, but just stood on the right wing. Did one of his sideways runs because it's hard to get forward, obviously, of course, against Manchester City when you're stuck in your own half. So I think that's why he started on the bench as well. Wasn't really his type of game, but he came on and did the job, so that's okay. And overall, it was a solid performance for 80 minutes. It's just a shame that we were broken down in the end, and we are now out of the FA Cup. So our attention's turned fully to securing that Europa League place, or if not more, in the Premier League. But I think Europa League is more realistic for us this season. So about 11 games left, 10 games left, something like that, to try and solidify our spot in the European places, with some good teams coming behind us as well. So hopefully we'll be able to keep up our league form, especially away from home, and strengthen that home form as well. But yeah, Everton out of the FA Cup, but they put in a strong, organised performance for 80 minutes. So not too many negatives to take from it. We can stay positive and hope for the rest of the season to secure that European spot. So yeah, let us know what you think of my ratings in the comments as well, whether you agree or disagree with any of those. Let us know in the comments, and hope you've enjoyed the video nonetheless. Give us a subscribe and like, and join us next time on the Toffee Blues.